Hey, book besties, let's get into what I read this past week. I fear I am suffering from a little bit of just I don't know, memory loss. I'm like, what did I read? So I did start off the week literally on Sunday last week, finishing two books. The first book was The Fire Beneath Azura by John C. Griffin. I talked a little bit about this last week, how I was kind of shocked, interested, intrigued. I don't normally read books by men, just by chance usually, but I think this is pretty good. I would recommend it to someone who likes kind of fantasy, but like fantasy that doesn't feel like your typical fantasy. The ending kind of took me by surprise. I was sort of expecting everybody, because there's kind of three different groups or point of views, and I was kind of expecting everybody to come together and have a big climactic moment, but it seems like that might be coming more in book two. I do think it was good. I think it has very good, like, queer centric, not queer centric, a queer normative world, like where people are just of all sorts of sexualities and genders. It's pretty diverse. So I would say give it a try. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I also finished Heavenly Bodies by Imani Irayu. And this is the one where I'm like, wait, what happened at the end? Because I guess I just don't remember. But I do know that it was a romance, kind of like enemies to lovers, I think. Dude, head empty, no thoughts. What was this book about? Oh, I remember now. So Alara is like a queen kind of without a kingdom. She wants to get her kingdom back, and she is with basically the kingdom of the light, and they're training her to fight and take down the king of the stars. And she's been like there was a prophecy that said she was going to fall in love with the king of the stars, and it would be the death of both of them. And at the end, what happened at the end of this book? I guess I need to look it up. Star-crossed lovers, though, literally. And it was good. Gave it 4.5 stars. I literally finished it on Sunday, and now I'm head empty, no thoughts about it. Then I also I read Sweet Obsession, which is the eighth book in the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. So you've maybe heard of Neon Gods. This is the eighth book. This whole series has been so good, and I've loved all of them. This one in particular was about Icarus and Poseidon. So these books are all kind of like a modern fantasy, like dark twist on a lot of like the typical Greek god stories. So obviously in real life, or in the mythos, like Icarus and Poseidon were not like romantically involved, but Poseidon does find Icarus when he like crashes into the ocean. So it's kind of starting there. Um it's like a little bit of a captive captor relationship. Poseidon is one of the 13, like he's in charge in Olympus, and Icarus has kind of been, his family was kind of intruding on that and wanted to take over. And there's this whole subplot that there's this boundary around Olympus that's falling. And I think what really irritated me about this book was I loved the romance, I loved the relationship. That part was all great. But the actual plot, like the background plot of these books that's been happening for 8 books, moved this much. Like so little happened that I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Whereas on all the others, it seemed like there was kind of larger steps taken. So it was not my favorite of these books, even though I love Katie Robert forever. And I'm excited for the next one, which is Zeus and Hera. Highly anticipated. Big drama happening there. And then I was supposed to read this a while ago. I had the book on hold on Libby, and I just didn't get to it till now. But this book is so cute. Love Requires Chocolate by Raven K. Stringfield is a YA contemporary romance about a young girl, Whitney Curry. She's a senior in high school, and she gets to go on a travel abroad trip to Paris to work on her senior project, which is about her idol, Josephine Baker, and like Josephine Baker's experience in Paris and life and music and romance and all of that. And so at this school that she's at in Paris, she has to have a French tutor, and her French tutor ends up being another high school student, but at like a local French school. And his name is Thierry Mangon. Magnon. I don't know. I'm not good at French, but it was really cute. It definitely felt like high schoolers. If you're someone who has like a young person in your life, I think I would highly recommend this, like for high schoolers to read. It's very cute. There's lots about like Paris. If you like books that are kind of like set in a city and you feel like you're traveling, it's about chocolate. His dad or his stepdad owns a chocolate shop, and so like she always wanted to go to a chocolate shop. It's cute. There's not like a big scary plot where like crazy things are happening. So it's a very easy read, very like chill, cute, adorable. Very, very YA. Don't expect anything crazy to happen there. And then books that I'm working on. I started listening to Fearless, which is the third book in the Powerless trilogy. And I have to admit something to you all. I'm kind of irritated with the main male character and how like simpy he is. We get his POV chapters, and the entire time he's just like, I can't have her. I love her so much. Oh my god, she's so beautiful. And I'm like, sir, like, am I just like not feeling it? He seems very obsessed, and like I'm kind of overhearing about it. But if you're not familiar with the series, this is a world where there is a sickness, and people who have powers, basically the elites, they survive, and the ordinaries, people who don't have powers, the powerless, um, the the king says that they're ruining the elites. So like you're not allowed to be powerless, you get kicked out or like killed. And so she's been hiding that she's powerless. And so now we're on the third book. I guess spoiler alert, it's also like you can just read the back of them. But the old king dies, and now his son is trying to kind of like bring the country back together. He's like, oh well, I'll marry someone who's powerless, and he's not the simpy one. They're brothers, so that's where the drama comes in. Is that the brother's going to marry the girl that the other one likes? So it's okay. I'm not very far, so we'll see how I feel. I am kind of scared that like this is actually the end of the trilogy, so like there has to be a conclusion in this book, and I don't know where we're going. And then last but not least, I have so many arcs that I'm trying to read. I am reading an arc called A Fate Forged in Fire. This comes out next month in May. And this book is giving me big Game of Thrones vibes. Big, like, long lost ruler queen who's going to have dragons. Like, big Daenerys Targaryen vibes. The main character, Amara, they have very Gaelic names. So I'm having a very hard time pronouncing any of them. But she is like the last female descendant of this line of people who are kings and queens, but like it was supposed to be a matriarchal society, but then there were no female heirs for a really long time. So now she is technically should be the queen, but there are other people on the throne, and so she's trying to take back her throne, and there's dragons and other animals or creatures that like people can bond with depending on their like elemental power. She has fire power, obviously, and there's like air and water and all of that. So far, so good. I'm very concerned where we're going on the romance side of things. I had to like really focus on reading because like they have clans. And so like the people who are on the throne right now are of the same clan as her, but I was like, does that mean they're related? Like, because there's some tension going on with the one prince. I was like, can they? But I think they're just in the same clan, not related. So like you live in the same town, but not related. But so far so good. That sounds it's interesting. I love a book with a dragon. Very badass. I would say if you like Game of Thrones, Fourth Wing, Throne of Glass, like those kind of books, this would be for you. I think that's everything that I did read or have been reading this week. My cat says, meow, meow. Meow, meow. You want to say hi? With my banana microphone? No? Okay. Well, I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a lovely time reading. And also support libraries because they're under attack, and that's stupid. Okay, bye.